Destination weddings and COVID. What to do to not postpone the planning again and again. Hello everyone, I'm Svetlana from Best Indian Weddings Italy, the first and only wedding planning agency in Italy specialized in Indian weddings. Every day I help Indian brides and grooms-to-be realize their authentic Indian celebrations in the most beautiful country in the world. I'm running the series of videos called SOS Indian Weddings in Italy with useful tips and advice that you won't find anywhere else. So if you're looking to host your Indian destination wedding in Italy, then please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell to always keep updated with the new videos every week. The topic of this week is destination weddings and COVID. What to do to not postpone the planning again and again. Probably it's the question number one for many couples, especially for those who are waiting since 2020 and still don't know what to do. Maybe you look at some other couples who decided to renounce their destination wedding and now plan for a domestic wedding, and you're asking yourself if it's truly the only thing to do right now. Everyone is tired with the lockdown, with the restrictions, with no possibility to travel. What I want to stress is that life is going on, COVID or no COVID, and you will get married in any way. And if you have always dreamt of a destination wedding, then go ahead, because you won't never want to remember your wedding as the failure of your dream, as your second choice, as the image of surrender. A destination wedding is the top choice for many couples, but I will speak about in greater detail in a new video. But now let's talk about our today topic, what you can do right now. And the question is whether to start with the planning abroad right now or wait until the situation is completely clear. After having checked with many couples, I've noticed two main concerns that block them from starting the planning right now. One, they are concerned about people not being comfortable with traveling so far, even if their wedding is in 1 or 2 years. And two, they are concerned about closed borders and the impossibility to come to Italy to choose their venues. What can I suggest about that? First of all, speaking about people not being comfortable with traveling means that you aren't able to do a trustful guest list. My suggestion is to do your ideal guest list and then calculate around 15% less to have a more realistic number. And especially, don't rush to notify people right now. Just plan and wait until summer to let your guests know about your wedding plans. Anyway, it's enough to invite people 6 to 8 months before the wedding, and waiting for a little bit safer moment will give you more certainty that your guests would confirm their participation. But, there is a but. Don't start planning without checking with your parents if the most dear people, such as your grandma, your grandpa, or you know who, would attend your wedding. Of course, if they wouldn't in any case, COVID or no COVID, and you would be fine with that, then go ahead. If instead you don't imagine your wedding without their participation, then unfortunately you most likely would need to plan for a domestic wedding. I just want to point out that people who care about you the most will travel to your wedding if you will. You first must be convinced about that, and that will make a real difference. Let's take for example our pandemic wedding. The couple was absolutely convinced about having their destination wedding in such a beautiful place as the Sea View Villa in Sorrento. They moved their wedding from May to September. And of course, there were guests who didn't come. But most guests came, basically 2/3 of the initial guest list. And they had an amazing 3-day celebrations with all the events, with partying until late, with dancing. Everyone had fun and enjoyed their stay in Italy. Of course, we worked hard to make it happen and to make people feel like nothing serious was going on. And if you have true professionals by your side, then everything becomes achievable. Then closed borders. As announced on the TV, from June they will be open again, and here in Italy we expect massive traveling from abroad. Couples of all the nationalities will come to Italy to choose their wedding venues, not only Indian couples. So just imagine the crowd. You may even not be able to set your appointment with the venue on the desired day. Or maybe you may find yourself in a true touristic tour of a venue with also other couples, and then you would likely be asked to confirm in a few days. Or even face the rule of first come, first serve. How can you be sure to make the right choice under such pressure? And don't forget that Italian couples are choosing their venues right now. They are in Italy, they're locals, and they don't have any issues with closed borders. Someone has postponed, someone has confirmed, and at the end there is less and less availability left. And if you wait too much, there is a huge risk that you won't find any availability or have just a little choice, especially if you have a short window of time good for your wedding. Have you ever thought about how the process of choosing the venue works and how much time it takes? Sometimes couples think that they'll arrive, rent a car, and then go see the venues all around, exploring their favorite location. Such a beautiful romantic picture. As maximum, they will maybe do the first selection on Instagram, put down a list of venues, and then go see those venues to have that special feel. And if none of them works for you, have you ever considered this option? A thorough research and informed selection based on specific criteria is absolutely necessary before coming to Italy. You need to ask right questions, check all the necessary things to be sure you can have the wedding you have in mind. Just consider that it takes me, who do it as everyday job, from 1 to 2 months. And I already know many venues, and based on a specific request, I can immediately understand where to look at. You likely wouldn't know, and it would likely take you even more time to do such a thorough research beforehand. Because if you come to Italy without having this preparation work done, you risk just wasting your time and your money. So let's see how to achieve this goal. You will surely agree with me that the biggest part of the choice is done from distance. You look at Instagram or online and you search for the locations where you think you could host your wedding. You see thousands of pictures and you're likely amazed by some of them, by the beauty of the places, by the breathtaking views that some venues may show. Obviously, it's hard that one decides for a wedding venue that they don't consider beautiful. Would you like to hold your wedding in an ugly place? I don't think so. Of course, we all have different criteria for the beauty, and the venue that could appear beautiful to a person could be not to another. Anyway, your first selection will be surely based on the beauty of a venue. Am I right? Okay, apart from the beauty, there are many other important aspects to take into consideration, such as the capacity, the Plan B options, the accommodation on site if you request it, the possibility to have Indian food, time restrictions, and so on. Because you can't base your choice just on the beauty of a place. We're speaking about Indian weddings, which are different from standard European weddings, when they have just a small ceremony and the reception immediately after, and maybe 20 to 40 guests. Your wedding is different. You would likely have 100 of guests and then 2 or 3 days full of events, a specific timing to follow. You can't take the choice of your wedding venue lightly. Do you agree with me? Therefore, it's crucial that you pay your maximum attention while selecting your venues in Italy to make sure your wedding is doable there. What you can do right now to unjam the planning is starting with this first phase, selecting the venues you like from the pictures, verifying all the necessary information, making comparative sheets of the venues to be able to compare their characteristics and discard the ones that don't work. After this part is completed, I highly recommend setting the video calls with the venues so that you can do your first selection, and then you can put options on the venues you have chosen so far. And when you come to Italy, you will be absolutely able to make your final decision by seeing only those venues that you have previously selected and thoroughly verified. Isn't it much better than just coming to Italy, going around and hoping to find your ideal venue by chance? And if you want to be 100% sure you know the right questions to ask, the right aspects to verify, the important details to not overlook, I have written a special guide exactly about that. It's so useful anytime, and especially now when you can't travel. The link is under the video. You can go to the dedicated page and purchase it for a small fee. And now a bit of advice if you're looking at venues right now or going to do it soon, maybe with the help of my guide. First of all, put down a list of priorities for the choice of the venue. It's fine browsing the web, but sometimes you have to choose either one aspect or another. So it's important to know which one, depending on your priorities, so that you don't waste your time. For example, beach wedding or summer wedding. If you absolutely want your mandap ceremony on the beach, then most likely you would need to go for off-season holiday time, such as spring or autumn, and not summer months when beaches are full with tourists on holiday. If instead you only can get married in August, then most likely you would need to renounce your beach wedding and maybe choose a venue on a hill overlooking the sea. Another example, everyone on site, so a large venue with a lot of accommodation and maybe external people staying there at the same time, or exclusive use of the venue, and maybe just a few rooms at the venue while most of the guests would need to be accommodated elsewhere, and so on. Secondly, if you're uncertain about the date of your wedding, because maybe you're planning for the current year and aren't sure to be able to make it, ask the venue to keep a second date for you, maybe for spring of the next year. Oftentimes, Indian weddings are subject to auspicious date, or maybe you just want to pick a bank holiday, and maybe you don't have too much choice of the preferred dates. And if you have a second date on hold for you, you don't risk that at some point you decide to postpone and don't have availability anymore. My third advice is asking your venue for a written agreement that in case of the postponement, they will keep the same conditions for you and won't apply any extra charge for changing the date. And lastly, follow my next videos, as there will be some specific ones for the choice of the venues. That's all for today. Thank you for watching this video that I hope can truly help you with planning your amazing Indian wedding in Italy. If you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to my channel, follow Best Indian Weddings Italy on Facebook and Instagram, comment in the post, and I will be happy to answer. See you next week!